So just settle in both feet on the floor. If you're not sitting cross-legged, have your feet down on the floor, about a hip's width apart. And just feel the pressure of your feet in the floor and also the texture. Maybe you feel your feet in your socks. Maybe you have fluffy slippers on. And then just feel the weight of the backs of your legs on the chair and your pelvis. Just allow your pelvis to sink into the seat you're sitting on. And then feel the weight of your hands in your lap. So the right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. And align your shoulders with your hips. And as best you can, your ears with your shoulders. Imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just lengthen your spine, putting some space in between the vertebrae. And then go to the crown of the head and relax your scalp and the forehead and the eyes, the nose, and the cheeks, the area around the mouth, and the back of the tongue, the jaw, the ears, the inner ear. Relax your temples. Relax the back of the head and allow your shoulders and shoulder blades just to drop down. And relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And just come to the area around your nostrils and notice the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. Just feel the soft flowing of the air as you breathe in. It's a little cool, and then as you exhale, slightly warmer. And then also bring your attention to your chest cavity as you inhale and exhale. And then, some people might like to focus on the belly, the rising and falling of the belly. And then bring your attention to any potential distractions. So usually it's sound, but there are other kinds of distractions as well. Notifications on your screen, emails, Facebook, and whatever other social media you use. So just allow them all to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. Try not to let them grab your attention. And then just check in with your mind this evening. How are you doing? And it's okay if you're sort of struggling this evening. That's good too. Just recognize that in any minute it could change as well. So try and be objective about what your thoughts are, what you're seeing. And then bring to mind all the people of our life, our loved ones, our strangers. And there may be people in your life you don't like very much. And just remember that due to impermanence, these relationships are interchangeable. Regardless of how you feel about any one particular person at any one particular time, they're all equal, all these people, just like you and me, in that they want to be happy, they don't want to suffer. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we particularly don't think that the one we don't like very much has that ability. But their mother does. Their best friend does. And the strangers, we think, well, we don't really care whether they do or not. We're not thinking about them that much. But our loved ones, they have enormous potential. Absolutely. We're quite discriminatory, even though we try to be open-minded. So then think we'll do this practice this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all the sentient beings. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, and we can change it equally by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine that this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell, representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we have a little section here on developing compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we've harmed, and then those who have harmed us, by developing a wish for them to be free from suffering. So you imagine maybe people in your life you've harmed recently, maybe in the past, and then in general, all beings we've ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering for them in the future. So we think, have a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to the power of remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. and it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempeyatsa Sawa Kamasitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mempiyatsa sawa kamasita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. Om vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita, dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa sawasidi mempeyatsa sawa kamasita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasidi mempeyatsa sawa kamasita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpeyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpeyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpeyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpeyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa, sawasidi mepiyata sawa kamasita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva. Ahum pe. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa, sawasidi mepiyata sawa kamasita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jita meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva Ahum pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible that you could do anything but benefit others now with your speech. So I'll read the purification of the mind and also the imprints, but I need someone to recite the mantra for the mind and the imprints. Is any brave person want to raise their hand? Anybody want to do that? Okay, Christine, thank you. Shayla can't because she has a grandchild there. Okay. All right. Now Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So this happens as instantaneously as you walking into a room and flicking on a switch and the light coming. So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment, neediness, bitterness, grudges, disappointments, depression, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Okay, Christine, I'm going to mute myself.
Om Vajrasattva Samaya Malapalaya Vajrasattva Dena Patita Dina Mevawa Sutokaya Mevawa Supukaya Mevawa Anurata Mevawa Sarasiti Mepayata Sarakama Sitsame Sisam Shiram Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Saratata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabaha Mahasamaya Sava Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Malapalaya Vajrasattva Dena Patita Dina Mevawa, Sitokaya Mevawa, Sipokaya Mevawa, Anurakta Mevawa, Sarasiti Mepayata Sara Kama Sitsame, Sisam Shiram Kura Hum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Saratata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabaha Mahasamaya Sava Ahum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Malapalaya Vajrasattva Dena Patita Dina Mevawa Sutokaya Mevawa Supokaya Mevawa Anurakta Mevawa Sarasiti Mepayata Sarakama Sitame Sisam Shiram Kurahum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Saratata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabaha Mahasamaya Sava Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Malapalaya Vajrasattva Dena Patita Dina Mevawa, Sutokaya Mevawa, Supokaya Mevawa, Anurata Mevawa, Sarasiti Mepayata Sarakama Sitame, Sisam Shiram Kurahum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Saratata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabaha Mahasamaya, Sava Ahum Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Malapalaya, Vajrasattva Dena Patita, Dina Mevawa, Sutokaya Mevawa, Supokaya Mevawa, Anurata Mevawa, Sarasiti Mepayata Sarakama Sitame, Sisum Shiram Kirahum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sara Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Baha Maha Samaya, Sava Ahum Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Malapalaya, Vajrasapadena Patita, Dina Mevawa, Sutokaya Mevawa, Sipokaya Mevawa, Anurakta Mevawa, Sarasiti Mepayata Sarakama Sitame, Sisam Shiram Kirahum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sara Tathagata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Baha Maha Samaya, Sava Ahum Pe, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Malapalaya, Vajrasapadena Patita, Dina Mevawa, Sutokaya Mevawa, Supokaya Mevawa, Anurakta Mevawa, Sarasiti Mepayata Sarakama Sitame, Sisam Shiram Kirahum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sara Tathagata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Baha Mahasamaya Sava Ahum Pe.
Thank you, Christine. So maybe if Elizabeth is here, New York Elizabeth, you could recite the next one. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause for why we harm others with our body and our speech, are all totally purified. They're gone. And think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. So imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar. So the nectar flows down, pushing out all the negativity of the body, and then the nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech, and then the light comes and blasts all of the delusions. And in this happens all at the same time, and at the same time you're reciting the mantra. So in this way, it eradicates this practice, even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Okay, Elizabeth, go. Shayla, if you could unmute her, please. I'm assuming she's willing to do it.
Dean, you should be able to unmute yourself.
What did Elizabeth do?
Elizabeth, can you recite it?
I'm sorry. Did you ask me to chant? Oh, I'll do that.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
I'll
Thank
just
you
do
so
that.
much. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Om Varsava Samaya Manupalaya Varsava Devapita Idome Bava Sutokaya Mabava Sukaya Mabava Anorekto Me Bava Sarvasiti Me Prayata Savakama Sutame Titam Shiam Purupum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Savatata Gata Vajama Memanta Vajavavama Samaya Sata Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Dilo me bawa, Sutokaya me bawa, Supokaya me bawa, Anorekto me bawa, Sarvasiti me prayata Savakama Sutame Titam Shian Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Savatata Gata Vajamame Munta Vajabhavama Samaya Sata Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Dilo me bawa, Sutokaya me bawa, Supokaya me bawa, Anorekto me bawa, Sarvasiti me prayata Savakama Sutame Titam Shian Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Savatata Gata Vajamame Munta Vajabhavama Samaya Sata Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Dilo me bawa, Sutokaya me bawa, Supokaya me bawa, Anorekto me bawa, Sarvasiti me prayata Savakama Sutame Titam Shian Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Savatata Gata Vajamame Munta Vajabhavama Samaya Sata Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Dilo me bawa, Sutokaya me bawa, Supokaya me bawa, Anorekto me bawa, Sarvasiti me prayata Savakama Sutame Titam Shian Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Savatata Gata Vajamame Manta Vajabhavama Samaya Sata Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopatita Dilo me bawa, Sutokaya me bawa, Supokaya me bawa, Anorekto me bawa, Sarvasiti me prayata Savakama Sutame Titam Shian Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Savatata Gata Vajamame Manta Vajabhavama Samaya Sata Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denapatita Tilo me bawa Sudokaya me bawa Spokaya me bawa Anorekto me bawa Sarvasid me Prayasa Sava Kama Sutame Titam Shion Kuruhum Ha 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 ho Bhagawan Savatata Kata Vajama me Mata Vajababa Samaya Sata Ahom Pe.
Thank you, Elizabeth. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and the final step in the purification process, and a really crucial one, because this is where we develop a determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And without that, we're just going to keep following the same old habit energies. We'll just do the same things over and over again. So this determination, this aspiration to refrain from harming is like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So think carefully about something you'd like to refrain from between now and tomorrow, maybe. And keep it simple, just a simple little thing. Maybe think about it before you go to bed, maybe once or twice tomorrow, and see if you're going to be able to change it. See if you can change it. So having determination gives us strength to change, gives us some kind of guardrails. So imagine Vajrasattva's delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same. So next Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. Okay, so now we're chanting the names of Manjushri for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. The Father to the meaning of all mantras, the greatest Bindu void of syllables, with 5 great syllables, great empty one, 100-syllabled, devoid of Bindu, endowed with every form, yet free from form, supporting half of 16 Bindus, transcending every grouping, void of members, sustaining dhyana's fourth and final peak, aware of dhyana's each and every aspect, with knowledge of samadhis, types and families, the best of bodies, body of samadhi, the sovereign king of all enjoyment bodies. Okay, everybody, let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, the swift return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and for all of your own individual teachers to live long. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for those people for Michelle and Elizabeth, for chanting, and thank you, Shayla, for hosting. And good night, everybody. See you tomorrow. Goodbye. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.